We have 1 minute. Okay. We're on the air, folks. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Thurn Laguna Hills Mutual Board of Directors and our residents as of Tuesday, December 17th, 2019, 9:30 a.m. here in the boardroom. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. Director Wayne will not be with us today. And do we have any media available or in the area? Okay. Well, if you would please turn off your cell phones and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm seeking now a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Okay. Discussion. A few things we need to take care of here is our items 13B and E. We are pulling them. We've just received some more word from our legal representatives, some things we may not have considered before, so we're going to take that off and reconsider what we're doing. Also on item 11D on GRF committee assignments, we have a couple changes there. One is on the maintenance and construction committee. We show Bunny Carpenter on there. She needs to be taken off as representing third. And on the next page, this is page 5 of 5 of item 11D. Under Laguna Woods Village traffic hearings, John Frankel needs to be on there, not stricken off. Are there any other corrections, additions, deletions we need to make at this time? Okay. Hearing none, I move that we accept the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
We have to do electronic.
Oh, we doing electronic here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, doing electronic. Okay, we have 8, 9, there we go. Okay, all in favor, the agenda is proposed. Okay, approval of the minutes of November 19th, 2019.
I'll make the move to approve the,
The minutes, okay. Second, Robert will second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? The minutes of November 19th.
Are we voting again?
Yeah.
Are we online?
Okay. Who are we missing there?
It come through?
Yeah, we had 9 just a second ago. Oh.
Did mine come through?
Kush, that's who we're after. There we go. Okay, 9-4, none opposed, none abstentions. Okay, report of the chair. Want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. And it's coming up next week, so I hope everybody's prepared for that, doing your last minute shopping. But other than that, I want to say that I really appreciate this board. I look forward to coming in and being part of this board. We have some outstanding people and backed up by staff. Really, really appreciate everybody that's involved here. So I want you to know that thinking of you during the holidays, we're ready to charge forward with you when we get back. Okay, that's all I have to say. Item 7 here, we have third Board of Director candidate appointments, and that's open. We've extended the time period to January 15th of next year. Not so concerned about the number of people who pick up applications, but looking forward to people returning them. So also, you may not know, but we still have some snowbirds that are out. They should be back in early January. And this gives them an opportunity to come forward and pick up a copy and maybe apply for the board. So those of you who have taken applications and not returned them, please do so, hopefully before the holidays, and get that off your back for that. Okay, now we'll go to item 8, open forum. People may address the board on items not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
I call Gila Zalan to the podium.
Gila Zalin. I understand that as a member, I now understand I have an absolute right to speak on any relevant topic. And since this board is now rethinking Steve's unfair treatment, it's even more important, I think, that you hear what I wanted to say last month and wasn't allowed to. I was shocked to learn of your decision to blackball the chair of our energy task force at a secret hearing he didn't even know about. And the first notice he received was your lawyer's letter saying that he'd been convicted, and here's part of that letter. Third's board evaluated a presentation of the facts as relayed by Tim Moy, but you really didn't evaluate facts. You heard what was passed to you from your executive committee, which got its information from VMS, which heard what Tim was told he heard from the complainant, but that quadruple hearsay is worthless as evidence, I have been told, yet you convicted him on that alone. A fair proceeding requires giving a person a chance to defend themselves before being punished. It's difficult to believe that any thinking human being could miss that logic, even me. But in this case, a lawyer missed it. A lawyer with nothing but a pulse should know that you can't convict a person in secret. A lawyer's job is to make sure their client doesn't do anything stupid or just plain wrong. In my opinion, that shows astonishing incompetence. In full possession of the facts, your lawyer approved the blackballing of this guy, and that she could write such a letter is unbelievable. I have produced 5 motion pictures, some featuring major Hollywood talent, Joseph Montana, Francis Fisher, Peter McRobbie, and before his untimely death, Sir Laurence Olivier, believe it or not, committed to appear in a film that I was producing. Those 5 films were based on fictional screenplays, so I do know something about what goes on in movies and what sells. And let me tell you that if someone shopped a comedy script in which a banana republic meted out justice the way this board treated Steve, then nobody would buy the script because it would be considered too far-fetched. Unfortunately, what this board just did to Steve, it also did to Marty 2 years ago.
Okay,
At
Gila,
the
your
urging
time
of
is
the
up.
same lawyer.
Gila,
But he had the last.
excuse me, your time is up.
My time is up? Okay.
Thank you.
I just want to urge you, I wish you all a happy holiday, and I want to urge you to undo that decision.
Next speaker.
I call Jules Zalon.
Good morning. Tim Moy had an impossible job determining what happened. That really wasn't his job. Judges do that. That's why we call them judges. Police investigate, but judges judge based on real facts. Hearsay is generally inadmissible because you can't test its truth. The source isn't in court. What happens if the source lied? You acted as judges in convicting Steve without knowing the facts. You got it all fourth hand. Didn't you ever play the game telephone? Steve was tried in private, in secret. Would it be okay if someone made the same charges against you? Basic fairness demands that fact-finding be made by disinterested parties. That's why we have recusal. Foxes aren't the best guardians of the hen houses. As an interested party, who is VMS likely to believe? And then your lawyer approves this, writing a letter that just makes one scratch your head. What was she thinking? She had an obligation to stop this. Would you want Gila to determine the facts in a dispute that I had with you? Accepting Tim's factual findings is no better. The law follows logic. You needn't be a lawyer to know that hearsay is unreliable and that trials in absentia are a joke. You have a moral responsibility to undo the error and an obligation to protect the next hapless victim. VMS staff works for us. We shouldn't have to look over our shoulders every time we talk to them or raise our voice. Would it surprise you to know that Steve has pretty convincing evidence that actually proves his innocence? Well, it may not matter to Steve because he may just walk away after all the work that he's done for this community for years and years. What a loss. Well, it may not matter to Steve, but it still matters. How many more Steves must this happen to before we establish a truly fair, impartial, independent procedure to hear complaints by BMS employees and anyone else? Disciplinary decisions require personal responsibility, and you can't simply accept someone else's advice or findings when it makes no sense. Shouldn't this finally convince you to do that? For goodness sake, for your own self-respect and for the protection of our members, undo his conviction and adopt a fair and independent disciplinary proceeding. Thank you. Happy holiday.
Next speaker.
Barbara Shaw.
Good morning, this is Barbara Shaw, 40031D. I'm here to talk about a problem I had back in March. This was 9 months ago, and the reason I'm here today is that we're not here year-round. I had a problem with water coming up in our sink, which was, of course, on a weekend, and it was dirty and smelly, and I took precautions by taking containers and putting that dirty, smelly water into 4 buckets and took it outside. And I was also worried that this water might ruin our laminate flooring, which we have throughout our condo. Again, it was a weekend, the plumber was not available, and we had placed 11 phone calls to the community center to get this taken care of. Needless to say, the excitement and the mopping and phoning and the security guards coming in to see if our problem had been taken care of, it was not. At 10 o'clock at night, I felt terrible, terrible chest pains. I had to call 911 to be transported to the hospital, where I was kept overnight. And fortunately, I'm here today, but it was a very scary, an emotional, frustrating experience. That overnight cost would have, had I not had insurance, cost $10,620. And I'm here today to ask for a reimbursement for just my out-of-pocket expenses, which were $80 for the hospital. Again, that was over $10,000. and $165 for the ambulance. So it's a total of $245 that came out of my pocket. I'm not talking about the inconvenience that we went through by not having any appliances, so we had to go out for 4 days. I'm not asking for that. I'm simply, excuse me, requesting the reimburse for out-of-pocket expenses, which totaled $245. After we came back, we're not here year-round. The baseboard weren't fixed to our liking, and we went through a heck of a time trying to get everything back to normal, but it still isn't quite normal, but we can live with it. Needless to say, we're very afraid of developing mold behind the appliances, and hopefully that this has not occurred. I guess my time is up.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Diane Phelps.
Hi. It's the end of the year, and in addition to overeating and drinking, it is also a time for gift giving. If you're looking for a local charity to donate to or to have your kids donate to as a gift to you, I ask you to consider making a tax-deductible donation to the Village Community Fund. The fund is a nonprofit 501c3 charitable organization created by village residents to enrich the lives of senior adults. Unlike the foundation, which is a separate and worthwhile organization that provides residents with temporary financial assistance, the Village Community Fund is raising and distributing funds for projects, programs, and facilities, not individuals. As the incoming president of the fund, I am here to solicit more than just your tax-deductible donations. I'm also here to solicit projects. If your club or organization has a project you think would be worthwhile to the community, please contact us. Our email address is villagecommunityfund@gmail.com, and our phone number is 949-467-1030. To date, we have helped the Video Club raise $1,600 for furniture and equipment for the Clubhouse 2 Annex studio control room and classroom, and we're finalizing plans to raise $700,000 as a part of the remodel of the Performing Arts Center. The money will be spent to upgrade the furnishings and audio-visual equipment of one of the dining rooms so it can be used for small theater and musical performances as well as meetings. Additional Performing Arts Center projects might include upgraded seating and light locks for the main theater, but the ideas for projects are wide open. We can help raise funds to replace tables in Clubhouse 5, upgrade equipment in a Clubhouse 4 class craft room, or provide startup funds for a program to bring a guest speaker series to the community. The Village Community Fund is a way for those who want to upgrade program services and facilities to raise funds to do so. The Village Community Fund will work with the housing mutuals and GRF to get necessary approvals for projects within the village. So please consider making a tax-deductible donation this holiday season, or ask your kids to make one in your name. Donation forms are available on our website, villagecommunityfund.org. You can make a contribution on our website or send a check along with the donation form to P.O. Box 2452, Laguna Hills, California 92654. Contributions will go to our general fund for distribution to approved projects unless you designate a specific approved project. Happy holidays, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, that's the first speakers. I'd like to address the Xylons, or Gila and Jules. This whole process is being relooked at, and hopefully it will come out to be satisfactory to all parties involved. That may take a little bit, but it is being worked on by several people. Barbara, I would ask that you meet with Siobhan possibly. And Siobhan, if you determine it's possible for a meet and confer sometime in January, where we can go over this and have all the facts and sit down and take a look at that. Sorry that you had to go through this, and oh, there we are. Okay. Sorry you had to go through that and make a trip to the hospital. I'm really sorry about that. Diane, thank you for sharing with us about the Village Community Fund Charity and all the work that you plan on doing. How many projects, approved projects, do you have on the list right now, approximately?
We're getting going, so we don't have any.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does any other board members have any comments? John?
For those of you who have a telecoil, the button is back here. It had been off when Diane was speaking. I turned it on.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? Okay. We will go on to the CEO report, item 10.
Good morning, Mr. President, and to the board. Real quickly on my side of the equation, and I know Siobhan has a few other items. I wanted to, I passed out in front of you on the dais is a recap of the November 20th strategic planning retreat that we had over in Clubhouse 2. That was our second retreat that we conducted with regards to our strategic plan. As you know, and highlighted in that front page there is our 3-year goals to ensure financial stability and longevity, to improve customer service to meet residents' needs and concerns, to attract and develop and retain high-quality staff, and to implement technology advances, as well as upgrade our infrastructure for the whole community. Those are our primary goals. We then, as a group, broke it down into 6-month strategy objectives, which is in the second document that I passed out to you. There are 20 plus objectives there for that we will be working on, and that is basically the staff directed ideas that have been, and some are including board members with regards to some discussion. These objectives are the strategies for the next 6 months that we're focusing on, although we have many other projects that, as you know, are ongoing with regards to operations with the individual mutuals. I'm not going to go through all those, but I indicated there's about 5 or 6 strategies and objectives within each of those 5 goals that I mentioned, and I wanted to indicate to you that I thought that this second meeting that we had, because we had some continuity with regards to having the first strategic plan, developing really the, making sure our vision statement and mission statement was on the direction that the mutuals wanted to go. This second one was more into our operations and how we're meeting those goals. And I thought it was, number one, well attended, much appreciated from the staff's point of view, getting the feedback from the board members that were there. So we just kind of continue this game, and it's an important one to continue to move forward with regards to the strategic plan for the village and working to meet your goals and objectives independently for the third mutual as well. It was, like I said, well received from the staff at the interaction with the board members. I much appreciate that. And then finally, I just want to reiterate the same comments that the president said, and wish everybody on the board happy holidays from the VMS staff, and look forward to a great 2020 once we get back and going. Thank you. Turn over to Siobhan.
Thank you. Honorable President, members of the board, I wanted to share some updates with you this morning, especially as we head into the holiday season. As a reminder, we have bulky item trash collection available to residents. This is available on the 3rd Saturday of each month. Our next collection date will be this Saturday, December 21st, and the January date is January 18th. Accepted materials include appliances, clothing, electronic waste, furniture, and other residential waste. To participate, you place your items near the trash enclosure or in the same location you place your trash bins. Bulky items can be set out the night prior or no later than 7 a.m. on collection day. Please notify resident services prior to setting out your bulky items, and that number is 949-597-4600. Additionally, after the holidays, the VMS Landscape Division will recycle live Christmas trees. Trees are picked up on Fridays, beginning December 27th. Please call resident services to schedule a pickup. The trees should be placed at the curb and should be free of lights, ornaments, and other decorations. The staff grinds the trees into mulch that is used throughout the village and is available to residents free of charge. In terms of holiday hours, I want to let you know what the Christmas Eve holiday hours will be. Christmas Eve is Tuesday, December 24th. The closures include the community center, resident services, both the call center and walk-in services, the PC and Mac learning centers, library, Pool 6, and the equestrian center will be closed on Christmas Eve. Open from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Christmas Eve include the community center's fitness center, the table tennis room, and the Clubhouse 1 fitness center. Transportation services will offer planner ride on Christmas Eve from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and you should schedule your trips by noon 2 days in advance of Christmas Eve. The transportation services number is 949-597-4659. And then on Christmas Day, the community center, resident services, the PC and Mac clubs, the community center fitness center, the table tennis room, library, equestrian center, all swimming pools, Clubhouse 4, and Clubhouse 1 fitness center will be closed. Restaurant 19 will also be closed. And open from 7 a.m. to noon will be the 27-hole golf course, the par 3 golf course, and the driving range. There will be no transportation services on Christmas Day. As a reminder to residents, the 2020 vehicle decals will be mailed soon. Please remove the 2019 decal and affix your 2020 decal in its place. If you need assistance, residents may bring their vehicles and their 2020 sticker to resident services, and staff will remove the old sticker and affix the new sticker during normal business hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We also wanted to let residents know that there are spaces available in the 2 RV storage lots. These are on Moulton Parkway near Ridge Route Drive and via Campo Verde off of Moulton Parkway. The lots feature security fencing, surveillance cameras, frequent security patrols, a washdown area, dump station, and restroom. Fees are $320 per year to store an RV or a boat. For additional information, residents can call the RV hotline at 949-268-2284. And lastly, wanted to remind residents that our informational meetings about the transportation system enhancements begin today. The first meeting is at 1 p.m. today at the Towers. And then tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., there will be an informational meeting in Clubhouse 1 in the main lounge. Additional meetings will be held in early January. And additionally, staff will be at Clubhouse 1 every weekday morning beginning December 19th from 9 a.m. to noon to answer any questions that residents may have about the upcoming enhancements to the transportation system. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Do we have a media representative here with us now? Okay, there she is in the back. Your first name? Brooke. Okay, welcome, Brooke. Okay, we'll go on to item 11, consent calendar. Do I hear a motion to accept the items on the the consent calendar?
I make a motion to accept the items on the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded.
Okay. We can vote. See, Kush, are you voting there?
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
Okay, 9-4, 0 for no. Okay, moving on to item 12, unfinished business. And I'll turn this over to our secretary.
Good morning, everyone. I want to let you know ahead of time that all of these resolutions that I'm going to give you in abbreviated format will be on our website, lagunawoodsvillage.com. Today, we have 4 resolutions that are coming off their 28-day review. The first one is 12A, is a resolution to revise the alterations fee schedule. This resolution is a revision to Resolution 0317120. that provides increased fees associated with manor alteration requests to partially offset the costs incurred for services provided by the Manor Alterations Division and will better align the fees with the administrative time required to process said manor alterations. I move that we approve this resolution that supersedes and cancels Resolution 0317120.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, we'll go into voting on this resolution. Item 12A. There we go. Okay, all in favor there, 9 yes. Okay, item 12B.
This next resolution coming off its 28-day review is the one that revises the Alteration Standard 28 for soft water units. The Architectural and Standards Committee recommended and voted on suggestions to the board for approval. These include the following. All installations require approval by the Permits and Inspection Office prior to commencing work. Tanks may be located in a garage, water heater cabinet, or outside of the unit as approved by the Permits and Inspections Office. Isolation valves or emergency shutoff will be required. Exposed exterior installations must be enclosed in a 5/8-inch CDX textured to match exterior wall or paneled and painted to match the color of the building. I move that we approve this resolution.
Second.
Second, okay. Any discussion? This has been a little while in drafting. Staff and Alterations Committee have been working on this for some time. So I think it's worked pretty well. Okay, commence voting, please. Okay, 9-4. Let's go on to item 12C.
Okay, the following resolution is also coming off its 28-day review and is for the revised Alteration Standard 42 for ramps. The Architectural Controls and Standards Committee requests the staff to review and revise the current alteration standards for ramps for applicability, usefulness, and current technology. The last revision for a ramps resolution was in April 2011 via Resolution 03-1149. Staff proposed several revisions, and the ASCS committee approved them and asked the board now approves them with the new resolution, which supersedes and cancels 03-1149. I move that the board approves this revised resolution for ramps.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? Okay, commence voting, please. There we go. 9-4, 0 against. Okay, on to item 12D.
And the last resolution coming off its 28-day review is the one for the Gardenville mailroom flooring replacement material. Staff explored and evaluated potential flooring alternatives for Gardenville mailrooms. Staff determined that glazed ceramic and unglazed porcelain tile are both ideal materials for use as the flooring in these high-traffic areas. The M&C committee unanimously recommended that the board approve glazed ceramic as the flooring replacement material to be used during the future mailroom renovations at an estimated cost of $1,265 per mailroom. I move that we approve this resolution recommended by the M&C committee.
Is there a second? Okay. Discussion? Okay, commence voting, please. Okay, 9-4, none opposed. On to new business, item 13. 13A, recommendation to deny off-schedule tree trimming request.
This recommendation was one requested by the unit Manor 5358 Algarobo for 1 red ironbark, 3 Indian laurel fig, and 1 carrotwood tree and to trim on schedule due to the fact view obstruction is not a reason for trimming and trees. And anyway, trees are scheduled for trimming next year. I move that we follow the staff's recommendation to deny this request.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. Okay, hearing none, we'll commence voting. Item passed 9-0. On to item 13B.
This resolution introduces approval of a species-based tree trimming program. The current tree trimming policy calls for inspection and/or trimming on a 34-month cycle. Third maintains more than 12,000 trees representing 224 different species. Under this program, trees are inspected for overgrowth, damage, disease, and overall health. If the certified arborist determines that the tree needs trimming, the tree is placed on the schedule for trimming. This methodology is difficult to budget as the labor needs cannot be determined in advance and crew time is limited. This has left many trees unmaintained for years and caused unnecessary damage to mutual property. Staff has determined that using a species basis to determine the tree trimming schedule would reduce inefficiencies and service request trims. I move we place this resolution for tree trimming on a 28-day notification for member comments and suggestions.
Okay, is there a second on that? Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, we don't have to vote on it now because it goes on 28-day. Okay, thank you. Let's drop down to 13F as we've taken off 13D and E.
Okay.
Entertain a motion to reduce the resolution for internal dispute policy.
Wait a minute. What about C, 13C?
Oh, I'm sorry, 13C.
Okay.
Let's do 13C.
All right. Confuse me. Okay, this resolution is one to approve changing the Resident Policy and Compliance Task Force into a committee by which the charter will outline the roles and responsibilities. The task force was formed in 2016 to address aligning governing documents when possible to streamline process. On August the 15th, 2017, the board approved members for the Resident Policy and Compliance Task Force. This committee is established as a standing committee of the corporation for the purpose of reviewing the governing documents for clarity, legality, and current applicability. The committee will be comprised of the chair, 5 board members, along with 3 voting advisors. Primary responsibilities will be to recommend general and specific actions related to the governing documents for the board's approval and implementation. I move that this change be made to change the Resident Policy and Compliance Task Force into a committee.
Is there a second? Okay, second. Any discussion? This has come to us in different forms and different meetings. And for a lot of our new members, this committee in the past has reviewed the different policies, found where the history was, brought it forward so that we could make a logical decision on things that happen. So at this time, if we vote yes on this, it will take effect immediately. So any discussion on this? This is not a Ways and Means Committee. Okay. Yes.
Would this mean that we will have a regular committee for this?
Yes, a standing committee.
Not a task force?
Right. Okay. Hearing no other comments, go ahead and commence voting. Okay, 9 yes, 0 no. Okay, on to new business item 13F.
Okay. This resolution is one to include a time frame to complete an internal dispute resolution to meet the requirements that align with civil code. The current policy provides a process and procedure for addressing internal dispute resolution requests from owners. However, there is no resolution timeline set in the current policy. The proposed resolution includes a time frame of 2 months for a resolution. I move we place this resolution for an internal dispute resolution on 28-day notification for member comments and suggestions.
Okay. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All righty, that'll go on 28-day notification. Okay, item 13G.
All right, this is a big one. This is a motion to approve streetlight fixtures for the LED conversion project. During the year, there have been two pilot projects that allowed third residents to review and provide a fixture selection and make comments. Siemens gave a presentation, it's the vendor Siemens. Studies were made and many meetings ensued regarding lighting wattages, cost savings, and diffusers. Recommendation was made to the board to authorize Siemens to proceed with the implementation of the streetlight fixture conversion from high-pressure sodium HPS fixtures to light-emitting fixtures, LED, on 759 third mutual-owned streetlight poles, excuse me, with Siemens recommended King K427 top-mounted fixture and Acuity Cobra head fixtures in the amount of $745,000 funded from the Exterior Lighting Replacement Fund. There is an estimated average cost savings of $101,000 in energy use over the life of the Siemens recommended LED fixture conversions, not to mention the very important fact that this project will greatly improve the lighting in our community.
Okay, I so move that we accept this project and move forward with it.
Second,
Second.
third, fourth,
Okay.
fifth.
Is there any other discussion on this?
Yeah, what happened to the second pilot before we approved it?
13 replies. We have 13 feedback replies.
We had 13 replies
Uh-huh,
and evaluated them, and it came out with the recommendation of staff.
okay. So it's all done? Phase
Yeah.
2 is done?
It's over. What we will do today, if it's approved, Siemens will be notified to move forward with the whole project.
How long will the whole project take to implement?
Jeff, would you like to talk about this?
I don't know the specifics on the timeframe.
okay.
But we can report back to the board on that.
Okay,
I can-
Kush may have an update.
Yes. By the end of March or April latest, which should all be done. And anything we do with the lights would be better than what we have today. So I strongly recommend that we move forward with it.
Okay, and this include all the cul-de-sac and everything, right?
Yes.
Where we have
It
another
will
phase
be,
to this?
Yeah,
but
This is
it's
the last
not,
phase?
This is just the street poles.
This is just street
just the
poles,
street
so we
poles.
haven't done...
But some go into cul-de-sacs.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
But we still have another phase of this?
We need
that
mic.
coming?
Down the
mics.
road,
We need to
yes.
use the mic.
Let me give him a little update.
Yeah, I
The-
just want to make sure people know that it's not all done.
No. This is not going to be the entire third. It is
Okay.
only in the gate 7, 8, 9, 10 area.
Okay,
Because those were the poles we bought right now. There are certain buildings that have a little walkway with a pole, which are not part of this. So the main street lights are going to be done in this attempt, in the phase 1.
okay.
Once we finish that, then we start with phase 2, which will not be too far behind, but we're going to discuss that right away and move forward with that.
So we
provided our
haven't started
treasurer-
on the other phase?
Right.
We haven't
No,
started
this
on
has
the
to
other
get
phase.
approved
That's
We
all.
haven't done anything about phase 2.
Okay.
We don't even know what scope we are going to have on phase 2.
Just to clarify, Kush, there are some poles in gate 14 as well that are included in this, aren't there?
Not particularly sure of that, but,
We have our expert.
we have the expert here, so, okay.
We'll have Ernesto talk to us on this.
Yeah, I didn't know he was here.
He just walked.
We just walked
Oh, awesome.
He heard his name.
Man on the spot.
Mr. President, board members. So I missed a little bit of the discussion you had. I ran down here to answer any questions you may have. But as you know, we've implemented 2 pilots on this. The second pilot covered a wide variety of variables. And I think it's given us and the community a good sampling of what these pictures would do for us on a variety of situations and cul-de-sacs, intersections, through streets. We've also tested different heat lamps, 3000K, 4000K, and several fixtures that Siemens, your consultants, recommended. So at this point, we're comfortable moving forward with the project.
The question, in addition to that update, which we were looking for, so thank you, was which gates are affected with these poles that are being adjusted now?
Yeah, which gate are not affected?
Yeah,
which
just
gate
some
are
way to
affected.
identify the scope
Yeah.
of where these things are located.
For instance, gate 14, is that part of the project?
I believe that there is poles in gate 14. I don't know how many and where exactly they're located, but I'll have to confirm that. But they're throughout the mutual.
So there's nothing in 11?
In gate 11, I think that there's some poles in gate 11 as well.
Yeah, there are, but I don't know if it's affected by this round. They're affected by this round, or is it on the second?
Oh, no, they're affected. You acquired the infrastructure for medicine, and that infrastructure is throughout the mutual.
Throughout.
So, in all the gates, yeah. So it'll be affected.
Ernesto?
Yeah.
Is it also in gate 5 and 6? Because I understood it was only in 7, 8, 9, 10 area.
Throughout the mutual.
So gate 5 and 6
Throughout
also?
the mutual.
Yeah,
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Even better.
That's a better news for the cost that we're paying. That's good.
Yeah.
As part of this contract, we have a follow-on one for maintenance. Could you talk about that for a minute?
Absolutely. So when you awarded a contract to Siemens a couple of years ago, it included the helping us with the acquisition process through Edison, and which was already completed, and also included the conversion of the technology from high-power sodium to LED. In addition to that, the third piece of the contract was the operations and maintenance of the infrastructure once you have it acquired. Actually, even before you acquire it, they were already maintaining it for us. So what that piece has done for you is really expedite any problems that we have with the fixtures out there. As you may recall, sometimes there were months lagging for Edison to come out and do anything for us. With Siemens, you have it built into the contract that within 48 hours, stuff is fixed. So on the list that we usually keep relative to what needs to be done out there, I don't have anything that's lagging at all, as opposed to the list that we used to keep with Edison that had like 20, 30 items in it. So it's a good deal. And I just wanted to point out real quick that there will be savings realized from this. Just from the purchase of the infrastructure, the mutual will be realizing about $50,000 worth in savings annually, because you're not paying for that lease cost that Edison was charging you before. And relative to converting to LED, you're going to be saving about $8,000 per year on energy costs just from going to that technology. So it's a good deal. I congratulate Mutual and the board for making that decision.
Now, one of the other considerations, or two of them, were safety and health. And I'd had people come to me and said, I walk at night, and when I trip over something, I'm not sure whether it's a root, a vine, or a snake. So they were very concerned. This should help take care of that problem.
Yeah,
But
that's
like
what
we
the
say, there is
question I
a
had.
follow-on
Yeah.
on project to this.
Yeah, it takes care of some of the blind spots that we have in areas. So this system going to take care of that.
It does to a great extent. Bear in mind that when the infrastructure was designed, it was not really with safety in mind. It was more of ambient light, if you would. So by what we've done, we've increased it considerably because they're going to LED, which is much brighter. However, you're still going to have some gaps. And I believe that was part of the discussion that the mutuals had. Once we get all this deployed, we need to step back and then take a look at the infrastructure, take a look at your streets, your cul-de-sacs, your sidewalks, and make a decision again. Where do we want to go from here? Do we want to implement additional lighting? Do we want to add solar lighting? There's just a number of options that you have available, but this will not cure. It will not provide the safety lighting that you have in a municipal setting. It will increase your lighting levels, but it will not fill all the gaps for you.
For instance, the uniformity and distance between poles
Yeah.
that you have in a municipality, they didn't do it here.
Usually
So we
they
have
go
gaps.
zigzag, we don't have that
Exactly.
zigzag issues. Yeah.
There's no zigzag between
Yeah.
the poles. So there's a number of things that, that even though you're upgrading your infrastructure, will not fill those gaps. So
But it's tremendously going to improve what we have right now. Let's make that point clear.
it's huge. The improvement is huge. And I
Yeah.
think that you can attest to that. You can go out and take a look at what we've
Yeah.
already installed, and you can see a dramatic difference. And I presented a PowerPoint. I don't have it with me, but at the FNC, at the special meeting, and you can see before and after, and it's a dramatic change.
Great job.
Okay, any other comments? Jeff, did you have any, or Siobhan? Okay. All right, we'll end the discussion there, and we'll commence voting on this. And like we said, if we pass this today, Siemens will be notified, and we'll start moving forward.
Hallelujah.
Go for it.
We have one that hasn't voted. Oh, John Frankel?
Just give me your verbal vote and I'll.
There we go. Okay, got it. Okay, 9-4, opposed. That passes. Okay, on to committee reports. Let's go to Finance with Director Pearlstone.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So agenda item 14A, we're going to review the financial statements through October 31st. We have some slides, and we'll catch everybody up on how things look as we come into year end. I've got some specific updates I'll try to touch on that I give a picture of even more detail, but I'll hit those as we get to those slides. So I'm going to just walk through the big picture slide is the first one, and that is our total assessment revenue of $26.856 million. Non-assessment revenue, things like chargeable services, interest, things of that nature, $2.26 million. Adds up to total revenue of $29.12 million. We had expenses up through the period of $27,083,000. So we have a net positive revenue over expense as of October 31st of $2,039,000, which is quite healthy. But again, we'll be talking about the budget impacts as I get to some of these later slides. So let's go ahead and go to slide 2. And this shows a breakdown of strictly operations, those day-to-day operations that help us kind of operate the mutual. Assessment revenue of $15,639,000. Non-assessment revenue, $1,382,000. Add those together, you get total revenues related to operations of $17,021,000. And then expenses that related to operations was $17,128,000. And so we're seeing an operating deficit of $107,000. And for those who check in with us every month, you'll recall that we saw some big surpluses earlier in the year, and now we're starting to see some deficits. It's the way we budget and totally expected. And I'll have some specific commentary in future slides, but the deficit is nothing that we're surprised about or didn't expect. So if we take a look at the next slide, this gives us, I think, the information people are most interested, which is actual expenses versus our budget. And again, these numbers are through October 31st. We're in December. Quite a bit has happened since then, but it gives you a snapshot. So you can see our total assessment revenue is right on budget. And then non-assessment revenue, we are well above budget. It's broken down. I won't cover too much detail here, but most of it is due to our very successful chargeable services program. So the total revenue is $29,122,000 versus a budget of $28,246,000. So that puts us to the positive $876,000. Taking a look at expenses through October 31st, $27,083,000. Our budget was, fairly significantly higher, $28,984,000. So we are under budget on expenses. Again, want to really emphasize through October 31st, and we're about to get to those details, so hang in there with me. So we are over on revenue and under on expenses, and going to the bottom line, you can see that we're $2.77 million ahead of the game through October 31st in terms of revenue brought in versus expenses paid out compared to our budget. So what I want to stop there before we jump away from that slide and comment on is we have our budget divided by 12, so we take our total budget and show those numbers divided by 12, but we don't actually spend the money that way. It's done cyclically as needed and the way we can get all the logistics organized. So just to give you a preview of what's coming in the next couple months, most of this variance will be used for expenses that are currently happening now or just happened over the last month or two, and you're not seeing them. The next slide breaks it down in more detail, but just to cover a couple highlights, things like building structures, the exterior lighting, we're just approving that now. There's going to be expenses related to that. Pest control, waistline remediation, and a lot of landscape work that's going on. And it might be worth a second to comment on that. We had a landscape transition in February, and a lot of adjustments have been going on. And if you come to the landscape committee meetings, we've been very, very pleased with the progress and the big picture, but there's not a lot of visual changes you're seeing around the community just yet. But boy, now things are changing dramatically. We've got a lot of slope work. We've got the improvements going on at Gate 14, which is a pilot. The aeration program's going on. So real progress, and a lot of those dollars are going to very good use. They're really going to benefit the community. Many of them actually bring savings over time too, which is just, we're upbeat about where we are in landscape, and it's a lot of money we spend every year. So just know we're watching it. It's being managed well so far with our new department head running everything. So the next slide, moving on, so you can start to see how some of this stuff breaks down. I just covered almost all the outside services that comprise why we have such a underspend in outside services. A lot of it's happening right now. Our bills are coming in, are going to be paid. So when you see $2 million that we projected that we haven't spent, you're going to start seeing it hit the books over the next 2 months. And where that leaves us, we did some projections at the Finance Committee last month. Where it leaves us is we should have a small surplus at the end of the year, which is we did better than expected in our reserve operations, and we're going to do a little worse than expected in operations. So I did a little digging for the benefit of those watching and interested to find out where our biggest issues were in operations. The one that I'll mention is plumbing service. And I just think it's worth noting, we're quite a bit over budget in plumbing service. I checked with the department head, Ernesto, who was just here speaking for us a moment ago, and he basically said that a lot of stuff just caught up with us. The 50-year-old buildings, some major repairs have kicked in, more leaks than anticipated, and costs have gone up. So they just didn't get that budget exactly right. Fortunately, it got offset by some budgets we controlled better. But we don't see that necessarily coming down in the future, so we're looking for other ways to find savings to offset what we see as a potential increase in the budget. Didn't harm us in the overall picture, but worth noting when people are like, where's all the money going? Well, a lot of it goes into our plumbing. And we've got waistline remediation going on to try to improve that over time. That's going to take several years to get completed. So get the big picture that we are spending the money wisely, and all of us want better plumbing, so we want to make sure that's well funded. If we take a look at the rest of the budget items and the differences, you can see it's not that significant on any one, but we had a good year in our investments. So there was $333,000 above budget on that, and that's money that is available and we will use, and whether it be operations or reserves. Fees and charges, that's mostly chargeable services. Interest income on our investments that are not, in long-term investments. And then employee compensation and materials and supplies is slightly over. By over, I mean we are doing better than anticipated in budget, and most of that we should finish the year seeing successful budgeting. We'll end up ahead of the game. Legal fees have been an issue. We are looking at it closely. We hope to see improvement next year managing that. We had a couple of bad debts that are getting resolved. So, hopefully we'd like to see all these things on the positive side, and we sure hope that's where we head. No guarantees. Legal services are a variable item, but we are watching it closely and coming up with some proposals to perhaps work more closely with the other mutuals, perhaps change some of our policies and procedures to minimize legal expenses. It's being looked at, and you should be aware of that because it's important for everybody to know we're watching those things that aren't going as well as we'd like them to. Okay, moving on to the financial report pie charts. So you can kind of see these things visually if none of that made any sense, and I hope it did, but maybe it didn't. I guess the big point on non-assessment revenues is it's really two items that comprise most of revenues that Third Mutual receives that are not your assessment, and that is fees and charges to residents. And most of that, again, is chargeable services, which has been an enormously successful program. We reviewed it at the Finance Committee. we're not losing money to offer the chargeable services. We'll be able to maintain it. Cost of living increases only on those fees. Very excited about that. We've got great feedback from residents. It's working well. And interest income. Again, that we can't guarantee year to year, but it's going extremely well with the way the portfolio is being managed currently. You can take a look at the other items in the pie chart. Again, the other one is unrealized gain or loss, which also affects investments, and some miscellaneous revenues we generate. The next slide covers the one most people are probably even more interested in, which is where's the money going when we spend it. Once again, it comes down to two major areas. Thoroughly covered that so far in this report. Employee compensation, service organization, we're trying to get fully staffed up, and that always will amount to a big chunk of the pie. But things that make sense, we're looking to outside services to become more efficient, manage the budget better, and that's now 27% of our total expenses through October. And that percentage should go up because of what's been happening in terms of actual work being performed. So it's being managed pretty well. Utilities and telephone, we had a nice savings in water early this year. Because of the rain, and now it started raining again. We can't count on such things, but we have our water committee. We're trying to find ways to get that down, and it's a growing portion of our overall expenses. The rest don't add up to too much, but if you come to finance, I'll cover every single one of them with you and show you what we're doing. We're looking at all of them to make sure we get everything as dialed in as we possibly can. So to summarize, we got a couple of slides that cover pretty much the summary of overall operations, fund balances, and it's all generally very positive. So the next slide puts it in numerical form. Not going to read every item. We've covered all of them in the prior discussions. Going to the bottom line, we have about $18 million set aside for replacement funds, disaster funds at $9.5 million, some unappropriated expenditures. We're going to have them available for allocation is $3.5 million. $1 billion, yeah, right. And then $60,000 in the Garden Villa Fund reserve for a total of $31 million in our reserve funds currently. That is shown graphically on the next slide, which I find more useful because it shows you year over year. Good fiscal management. The funds are at the highest they've been in the last 5 years. That will get depleted some as we wrap up for year end, but still very much in line with our budget, our goals, what we're looking at for 2020. And we feel like we've got things, if there's issues, we're addressing them, and otherwise things are running very well, and a lot of our maintenance and construction projects are completed and going extremely positively. We've had good feedback. So to wrap up, I always try to cover the resales. It's another indicator of how the community's performing. Do people want to move in here? Are they buying? There's that slide. We had another positive month. I went ahead and took a look at November as I do each month. The next month is available. It will represent our third month above the prior year. So the trend is extremely positive. We are just about at the same number of last year in total sales. And I think we're 2% under the average resale price, which if you compare that to surrounding communities is extremely favorable given the current market environment. So with all the things going on that we see improving, that's a great setup to come into to already have had a very strong year in real estate compared to surrounding communities. And then finally, a graph not shown, leasing. We're seeing that number holding steady at about 28% of our units are leased. And we're watching that closely and trying to create more homeowner value. So leases will stay the same or go down over time, make it a better experience for people who want to really live here and stay here. We think that's who we should be, really trying to encourage. Not that we have anything against leasers, they're wonderful too, but that number is right about at our limit, so we're very happy that that's holding steady. And that concludes the financial report. Our next meeting is January 7th at 1:30 in the boardroom, and I want to wish everybody a happy holidays. Thank the staff for really just stepping up and getting in front of so many issues we've asked about, and my fellow board members who have been phenomenal to work with. Thanks.
Thank you, John. That was a great report. On to the report of the Architectural Control Standards Committee. We have just a handful of standards we're reviewing. Some of them are fairly difficult to deal with, and some of them may be impacted by new rules that are coming down. They're going to be effective 1 January. We still don't know the impact of what they're going to be. We are going to get a briefing soon on what those actual areas are going to be. But we will be working things accordingly and may have to change a few things. But anyway, we're moving right along, and like I say, we have less than 5 standards yet to go through and update. Our next meeting will be January 27th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom. Okay, on to our report of communications with Director McCary.
This committee has not met. The meeting scheduled for January 8th has been canceled, so our next scheduled meeting will be April 8th. However, Third Mutual does have 2 directors on the GRF Communication Committee meeting. And that next meeting is scheduled for January, I don't have the date, to be announced.
Yeah.
And when I get
To
to
be
the
announced.
I'll give you the GRF date.
Okay, thank you for that. And on to maintenance and construction with Director Bada.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did not have any scheduled MNC committee meeting for the month of December, but we did have a special meeting to discuss the streetlights on December 11th. And over there, we proposed to go ahead with our new streetlight project, which we did approve earlier today. I'm very excited about that, and any street lights better than what we have now would be better and brighter for all our residents. That's all I have for, we are working with all the different projects. They're getting completed, dry rot, as well as building, painting, and all kinds of stuff, as Mr. or our Director Pearlstone indicated in his finance report, that we've been busy working a lot. With that, I conclude my report. Happy holidays to everybody, and special thanks to all our staff for doing such a wonderful job and keeping us informed and getting all the necessary things processed for us.
And your next meeting?
Next meeting is January 6th is the next MNC committee meeting.
Okay, 1:30 here in the boardroom.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. On to the report of the Parking and Golf Court Task Force. Happy to report there were like 6 new golf cart parking spaces up in the Wedding Cake area between gates 5 and 6. And I saw a picture of one, it looks really nice. So our next meeting is going to be on January 6th at 9:30 in the Sycamore Room, where we'll be looking at many different facets still of the same area. We have several things to do there still and getting them lined out so we can be looking at them over this coming year. Okay, like I said, next meeting, January 6th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. in the Sycamore Room. Now for the report of the Landscape Committee, Director Jarrett.
Well, I'm going to talk about attendance at our December meeting. Wasn't well attended, but it was okay because in October, we had 23 issues that people brought to the meeting, or November meeting, I'm sorry, October meeting. We had 23 issues, and there were so many issues brought forward, and 3 minutes per person that Kurt Weeman, our staff guy, he could not talk about an issue, he couldn't address all the issues. So what he did, he really made up a great table for people, and we brought that report out to the December meeting. He answered every single one of those questions, and that's the first time I've seen a staff member do that. They'll take the questions from the audience and bring them back with written answers, and that was helpful to everybody that attended the December meeting. And I was saying that the December meeting wasn't well attended. We had a horrible rain that day, so it wasn't really surprising. But not only that, landscape's getting a lot done. As of October, 113 palm trees were trimmed, 72 trees removed, 6 new plants were planted, and 48 unscheduled service requests were completed. The aeration project that started in October is nearly complete, and we're going to see the benefits of that in the grass in the next 2 months. You'll see a big benefit, especially if we get good rain. It's really going to be nice. The slope maintenance for the current contract, the 2019 contract, is underway and nearly complete for this year. In the meantime, we have a contract in the works for slope modification and maintenance in the neighborhood of $470,000 to begin in early 2020. And another contract we have in the works is one for $505,121 with a 10% contingency to perform tree maintenance in 2020. So I was really happy to see that we were getting those contracts. The RFPs were put out there, the contracts were all ready to go in the end of the year instead of waiting till after the first of the year to get all that contract work done, because then that really slows the work down. So once these contracts are approved in 2020, we're going to be able to start right out getting the work done that's badly needed on the slopes and the trees. And I was happy to see that the species-based tree trimming policy that we recommended was approved by our group right here today, our board. The Gate 14 Landscape Modernization Program is nearly complete. I drove by there this morning, and it's almost ready to take the fencing down. It's really going to be beautiful. So it's going to be nice to see that. And I wanted to make mention, in your packet today, you have the landscape manual that we've been working on all year to update that manual. So that is going to be on the website. For those of you who aren't here today, you have it in your packet. And it's going to be a live document so that we can change it and make changes as we go. But it'll always be out there for your review. And I want to thank everybody for working with the landscape, and especially John Pearlstone, who's done a wonderful job with the budgeting and help with us to get where we are on landscaping, because we worked closely with that, and he's really been a great help on the treasurer side. So thank you, John.
Do you have a comment, Annie? Okay, thank you very much. And your next meeting is January 2nd?
Oh,
That's
yes.
kicking off the new year, 9:30 in the boardroom.
Right away.
Okay, on to the report of the Water Subcommittee, Director Karimi. And welcome back.
Thank you. The Water Subcommittee didn't have a scheduled meeting, but we did receive the new water bills, and there are clusters that is still at the Tier 4. We will send our friendly letters to those manures and inform them of being more careful about the water usage. It doesn't matter how much rain we have. Last time I sent an email to Mother Nature, I didn't get any answer that what's going to happen in the future with the water. So please stay with the water and use water, your resources, very conservatively. Save water, because we don't know what happens next month, 3 months from now. So take those letters seriously, but please look at it as a friendly letter. It's not, meant to do any disciplinary or anything like that. Is supporting your community and saving water. That saves money, makes John Polston happy, because he's going to have less to be worried about. So please help us help each other with reducing the water usage. Our next meeting is scheduled for January 8th. And with that, thank you.
Thank you very much. On to the report of the Residence Policy and Compliance Task Force, Director Jarrett. This is now a standing committee.
Yes, it is, as of today. The Community Services Manager distributed the 15-day letter at the time of lease expiration, which significantly decreased the number of holdover leases occurring in Third Mutual. During October, 45 letters were mailed, resulting in 31 cases being resolved immediately, with 14 remaining open. Those positive results mitigate the number of active investigations that are pursued by compliance and security. The resolutions from this committee brought forward to the board include the charter to change the task force into a committee, and also we had the IDR, the Internal Dispute Resolution, today that was passed. And right now we're working on the nuisance and harassment policies, and also designating the smoke-free buildings. So we've got several items coming up in this committee in January. The next meeting will be January the 15th.
Okay, thank you very much. On to the report of the Village Energy Task Force, Director Frankel.
The next meeting will be January 10th. We have an extensive agenda. Carl Rendoza will chair it for the last time. And we have some significant membership, organizational, and leadership issues. Jeff, do you want to comment, please?
The only thing is, as the board knows, that there's a lot of dialogue with regards to where this is going in the long term, whether it's going to be something more focused with GRF or more focused with, a new committee structure. We're still working through that with the board presidents. We've had more dialogue. We'll continue to do that. So as long as we're working on that, the committee will continue to meet status quo.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, John?
No, the next meeting is January 10th. And we have an extensive agenda.
Yeah, I saw it. Be prepared for lunch, probably. Okay, on to GRF committee highlights. Community Activities Committee, Director Bada.
Thank you. As we see, there was no committee meeting in December 2019. If you wish, excuse me, I can go over the highlights of the previous meeting.
Just a few, if you would.
Yes, of course. Off-season kids' swim hours were discussed in the previous meeting. Policy review and discussion of the clubs associated with outside organizations, that was discussed and some ruling was done on that. Our next committee meeting is January the 9th, 2020 in the boardroom at 1:30, I think, 1:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you. On to the Finance Committee, Director Pearlstone.
Thank you very much. The committee met tomorrow. Get it? Anyway, no, it meets tomorrow. It didn't meet last month. So we'll have an update for you next month on the Finance Committee.
Okay, thank you. Landscape Committee, Director Ingdahl.
The creek area survey is complete, and I guess Department of Fish and Wildlife was happy with the results so far. During the meeting last time, about 4 or 5 people came to the podium. A couple of them came nothing more than to express appreciation for what's been done. I think they all mentioned it, but a couple of them mentioned that that's all they had to say. And it was a rainy day too, so it's always nice to hear that. Slope maintenance paperwork, contract paperwork is completed, and the vendor has been selected, and that'll be formalized. It should start early in 2020. Apparently, Kurt has only a crew of 8 resident laborers ready to do that, and they are doing some of it. Drought, it's a hard one to pronounce, drought tolerance plantings. Kurt is expecting to start work on that in 2020. Rebates for converting to drought tolerance plantings is not available any longer. And Director Moldo suggested that the committee members take a critical look at clubhouse and gate areas with an eye to planning future needs and priorities and scheduling. Meanwhile, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate. Have a great New Year. And the next meeting will be February 12th at 1:30.
Thank you. On to Maintenance Construction Committee, Director Frankel.
The committee met in October 9th, and the report was made at the last meeting on that meeting. The next meeting is February 12th, and I have no further comments.
Okay, on to the PAC Renovation Ad Hoc Committee, Director Pearlstone.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the committee met on December 12th, just last week, and I would strongly encourage anyone interested in what's going on with the Performing Arts Center renovation to get involved. It's coming very close. We're about to go out for bids on the first phase of the project. Most of it is important basic renovations like ADA adjustments, HVAC, and, we're all in the committee looking at it very closely to try to make sure we manage the budget and work with GRF to hopefully coordinate the budget to make sure that those dollars are available without, dramatically impacting other things that both the mutuals and GRF are trying to accomplish. So very important setup as we speak right now. In the next several months, things will be happening on it. Don't have a date for the next meeting, though.
Thank you. Okay, Media and Communications, Director McCary.
So that committee did meet yesterday, and just a review from last month on the broadband, Chuck Hollins did just want to remind all of the residents that the Fox Regional Sports channels are going away January 1st, 2019? January 1st, 2020. And also, if you've been watching television, you can see that there's a little message that goes across the screen that says these channels, Fox Sports channels, will be eliminated December 31st. And starting January 1st, we'll not have those channels. See, broadband is still continuing with its efforts to modernization efforts. They continue to push all homes to move to more of a high-definition channel lineup rather than the standard definition. So more information is going to be coming about that. In addition, Media and Communication also reported that there are close to 10,000 internet subscribers within the village, but there's also about 2,700 homes that are not subscribing to the internet. So communication is looking at ways to reach that segment of the community, and they're doing stuff like print publication, other touch print monitors like the ones that you'll see in the lobby outside there, or monitors that you see in the clubhouses to reach those residents also. They are also putting communication in the buses, so there may be flyers and brochures in the buses about what's happening in the village. And also monitor, Eileen mentioned that starting next year there will be some neighborhood meetings, and more information will be coming forth on that. The other thing that we talked about is ways of getting people to sign up for Dwelling Lives, so that if you have an issue or problem, that you can log into Dwelling Lives to make your request versus calling in and having wait time. It was reported, I believe the number was 1,200 calls per month that is received into resident service. So if we had people signed up for Dwelling Lives, that staff time that it takes to handle those could be minimized greatly. Our next meeting will be January 9th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom.
Thank you very much, Annie. On to Mobility and Vehicles Committee with Director Frankel.
The committee approved at the last meeting a very, very significant program for all residents. We approved $70,000 for a lift program. And that means that these are available on a phone call basis, a 10-minute turnaround time, according to Lyft. There will be no cost to the residents if their destination is within the system boundaries of the existing transportation system. That program will start in January, and it'll be 7 days a week. I don't know if you have any further comments.
Mr. Frankel, I would just add that the Lyft service would be provided during specific hours, an hour before the regular service time and in the evenings. That would be the only thing I would add.
Thank you. The next meeting is February 5th.
Okay. On to Security and Community Access Committee, Director Wichnick.
Okay, thank you. Some of this information may have already been shared because the last meeting of this committee took place on the 28th of October, but some of it may be relevant for you. In terms of traffic code violations, the number this year to date is up 20% over the same time last year. The greatest single violation increase has to do with either no decal or no pass for overnight parking. There has been more than double the increase in sightings for overnight parking without a pass. And residents need to remember that just because they get a pass to admit somebody during the day doesn't mean that they automatically have an overnight pass. The overnight pass request is something very separate and very different. And they need to make sure that they have that, because security goes around after midnight and cites people for not having an overnight parking pass. So that's something that I think people need to pay attention to. There's also been an increase, about 17% this year, in the number of citations for speeding. And we need to be very careful about the safety of our residents, many who walk and cross streets and things of that nature. So adhering to the speed limits, posted speed limit signs, I think is very important. And the next meeting of the GRF Security and Community Access Committee is scheduled for Monday, the 20th of January, 1:30 to 4:30 here in the boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Disaster Preparedness Task Force, Director McCary.
The Disaster Task Force did meet on November 26th. There was additional information reported about the October Great Shakeout, where we had the major earthquake, and the committee discussed the strengths and weakness of the exercise. And one of the things that we learned, this exercise identified that we are very, very undermanned in terms of good neighbor captains. And so what that means, the good neighbor captains reported to the command post what has happened in their area. So for residents for areas that do not have a good neighbor captain, the first people to get help in a major disaster, whether it be an earthquake or fire or cyber attack, it's going to be those residents that have a good neighbor captain, because the good neighbor captains go and survey the area where they live. So we really, really are encouraging people to sign up for good neighbor captains, and you can just come to the disaster preparedness area and sign up for that. The next meeting is going to be January 28th, 2020 at 9:30 in the boardroom here.
Yeah. Also, if you sign up as a Good Neighbor Captain, you have specialized training that you go through. It's offered to you free, and you even get a yellow vest. So that if you're out and about during a disaster, you're immediately recognized, and when staff comes around to check on people, they will come to you first, and you get to help your neighbors. So it's a great program, so please sign up.
We'll wear a vest.
And you do get a vest. Okay, on to the report of the Laguna Woods Village Traffic Hearings. Director Frankel.
The meetings were held on November 20th. We meet on the third Wednesday of each month. There were 23 violations, 3 decal, 1 for speeding, 13 for parking, 2 for abandoned vehicles, 4 for stop signs, 1 for overnight pass parking, the lack of an overnight pass, and 1 for the driver's license. And next meeting will be this coming Wednesday.
Okay, thank you very much. That concludes our committee reports. Move on to item 16, which is future agenda items. Does anybody have anything to add to this? We've got kind of an extensive list. I think some of them are going to be happening here real fast, though, at the turn of the new year. Okay, director's comments.
Wow.
What's that?
I said, wow.
Oh, okay. We'll start over here, but Robert, if you'd start us off, we'll come this way.
Well, I've only been on the board a short period of time, but now that it's the holiday season, I want to thank everybody for all the support that you've provided me, all the board of directors members, as well as the staff. It's been a very enjoyable time, even though it's been brief, and I want to wish everybody a happy holiday.
Thank you. Ralph?
I'd respond with just about the same thing, except I've been here maybe 2 months longer than Butchnick. Thank you.
We're glad to have you here on the board. Reza?
I just want to take the opportunity to say that it is a privilege to live in such a diverse and a vibrant community at Laguna Wood Village. If you look at what we're celebrating in this community, let us start saying with a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Night of Yalda. Those are the 3 ones that's going to be in December. Coming in February and March, we're going to be celebrating Kwanzaa, Night of Lights for Diwalis. and Chinese New Year, and the Persian New Year's. So it's a very diverse community. We have a lot of, communities here, a lot of cultures. So please, at this time of the year, take a moment and go around and say hello to your neighbors and try to learn about the other cultures and enrich yourself with the information. And with that, happy holidays for everybody.
Okay. John?
I'll repeat again, happy holidays for everyone. And I would mention that we have an opening on the board. And I would encourage any resident who has a colleague with leadership or management experience to please encourage them to consider applying for the board. For example, I have a buddy of mine with whom I play golf. He's a retired Marine Corps colonel and has exactly leadership and management experience. Unfortunately, I've been bending him, and I'm not sure whether I've been successful or not.
Thank you. John?
I just want to wish everyone a happy holidays.
Thanks, Annie.
Ditto to everything that everybody said, and I also want to just thank all of the staff for all of the support that you provide for us. It's definitely been a big help for me and much appreciated. I also want to extend best wishes and a big old thank you for a department that probably doesn't get a lot of accolades, and that's our security department. They write the speeding citations, they keep us safe, they watch over us while we're sleeping, and I just wanted Chief Moy and the security staff to know that their service is much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lynn?
Well, I want to, first of all, thank all the board members. We have such a great board here and everybody works well together. It's really, really wonderful to work with these people here on the third board. The other thing is staff. We have a wonderful staff. I have never run into anybody on the staff that I've worked with closely that's not very, very highly competent in their skill level. It's unbelievable. I can't even tell you. Every department that I work with is wonderful. So I really appreciate the staff. But I want to wish happy holidays to all of you, everybody. Thank you.
Kush?
Thank you, Steve. I think you all have said everything that I wanted to say. So I echo all your sentiments and thank you again to all the staff for this wonderful job you do and wish you all a very happy holiday. One other thing I want to mention is that we have a few dates that we want to pay attention to. Tomorrow is the BMS installation of the new board members and the annual meeting. So please be mindful of that and attend if you can. Also, this month, because of the holidays, we have a lot of meetings that have been canceled and rescheduled. So please look at your calendars minutely. Don't just show up because you might see an empty building. So thank you for that, and have a happy holiday, all of you.
Okay, moving on to our CEO, Jeff Parker.
Just echo happy holidays to everybody, and it's been great working with the third board and all of the mutuals, and our staff really appreciates the leadership, and we like getting things done for you, so we appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, Siobhan?
Just happy holidays to everyone. Thank you.
Okay, Cheryl?
Good meeting, and thank you for ending early.
And Grant, our newest addition to our corporate secretary staff?
Just excited to be here. Thank you.
Great, great. I would like to take this time just to remind people that our city council is made up of residents of our community. And in case you don't know, all but one of them are residents of Third Mutual. The other one is from United. We'll still claim him anyway. That's Joe. But we're really proud of these folks, and they spend a lot of time and effort, not only on city council items, but also helping us out in the village. So we send out a heartfelt thanks and want them to know that we're proud of them. We can't get together very much with them because they're so busy, but we thank them for their service and their time. And with that, I will take us into a recess session, and we'll reconvene upstairs for our closed session.